So me and Tony watched the Dark Side of the Ring, Cocaine and Cowboy Boots story of Herb
Yeah, I
Abrams.
didn't watch it because my sleep schedule's been a fucking disaster. And
I watched it. Literally, it was 6:54 when I finished, and I was like, "Oh, time to get the stream up." So I literally finished it right before this stream. So it went straight from this to Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well,
let's talk about let's talk about this Dark Side of the Ring episode. Herb Abrams is a cokehead. He just loves hookers, and
he loves these damn cowboy boots too. Like,
yeah,
he's all about these boots. Like Jim Ross and that cowboy hat. Him and these boots, man.
All right.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he goes into the boots too. There's a lot of boot talk in this one.
Why?
So,
is it like a part of his
he's a gimmick,
lineage?
dude. This dude is a gimmick.
Okay.
I'll talk about it.
I'll just give you a little preview. He spends like a shit ton of money on these yellow cowboy boots, and he's like hanging out with Cactus Jack, and he's like, "Bro, I got something that's gonna blow this fucking show up." And he shows Cactus Jack these cowboy boots, and Cactus is like.
He said, "This is gonna pop the boys. The crowd's gonna go crazy for this one.
They're gonna go nuts for this." Like Cactus is like, "What does he got? He's got something crazy? No, he's got these boots." It's
Yeah.
like, all right, what the fuck?
And he wears boot cut jeans, so they cover most of the boots. So, anyway,
you can only see like part of the boots anyway.
Not that fucking important then.
So Herb Abrams started the UWF promotion, the Universal Wrestling Federation, and he started this promotion by going to a wrestling con, one of the first ones to ever exist, and talk up a bunch of wrestlers in a suit. So he would walk around to
he
each
goes there
table.
Talking about Blue Chew, probably, right?
Yeah, I think so. He has to. His hard pecker and tallywhacker. And and so he went to this, and then he did a press conference where he would talk. He wanted to talk up the promotion, like, "Hey, we're doing this." Of course, he ran angles at this press conference, as you do. He said that Blackjack Mulligan was the booker. Blackjack Mulligan was in prison at the time. And he said that Bruiser Brody was going to be the top guy. He was dead.
He died in 1988. This was in 1990, by the way.
And Cactus Jack was like,
"Fuck."
Cactus Jack was like, "Yeah, man, we were cool with it. You know, whatever. Everyone in wrestling's a little weird." Blackjack
he basically used this time to like scout talent as well. So he would like go around to people like sign autographs and try and pitch this thing like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna create this new promotion. It's gonna kill the WWF."
Blackjack Mulligan, by the way, one of my dad's favorite wrestlers. Every time I talk about wrestling, he talks about Blackjack Mulligan. Yeah, that's it's one of the guys that was on TV in the Carolinas around this time. So, Blackjack Mulligan was super over. So the way that Herb Abrams pitched the UWF was that he was going to mix Hollywood. Okay, so Mick Foley's telling this, and I was like, okay. He says Mick Foley says it like this, that the UWF was going to mix Hollywood and sports entertainment. And I said, there's no way in 1990 that they said that they were going to mix Hollywood and sports entertainment. I throw up in my mouth.
but they also say in the same breath that they're going to bring wrestling back to what it used to be. And you're like,
Jesus. Which
how
is
can
like,
you bring it back to what it used to be and do Hollywood and sports entertainment? What the
even
fuck?
in itself, that's like the carniest statement of all time. So I guess in theory, it is bringing it back just by trying to attempt that.
In 1990s,
bring
of
them
course.
Suckers in.
Yeah, in 1990s, this is, of course, a breaking statement. Nowadays, you would be laughed out of the building. You know what I mean? So they're going to mix Hollywood and they're going to make movies. Hearing Mick, oh my God, I already told you how I feel about the Mick Foley and Cactus Jack, and just, you know, Cactus Jack's one of the best ever, and then Mick Foley's talking about sports entertainment. God, there's something just doesn't connect here with me, because like you even in this documentary they talk about Cactus Jack and like how he saw the business at this point, and like the two are not the same dude. They're just not. They just can't be. So anyways, they interview a couple of people that had to do with the UWF. I think one guy's name was Lenny, right? That was one of the dudes. He was like he was like a co-partner with Herb Abrams. He's still alive. Herb's not. They also interviewed a manager from UWF, Marty Berg, who, to be honest with you, just seemed like the biggest fucking mark of all time. So, yeah, and he's calling other boys marks and stuff. I'm like, nah, dude, don't don't like chill.
Before this, I don't know if it was at this convention or not or whatever, but they were throwing Bruno San Martino's name around. I don't know if you were going to get to that point, but I was going to
Yeah, I mean, he was booked.
But basically, they were saying Bruno, and so like they called Bruno and were like verifying that Bruno was actually involved with this because they thought he was full of shit. You know, like you don't have Bruno, but Bruno was like confirmed. Like, okay, so then people are like, okay, maybe UWF is actually like a thing that could work.
So
we got Bruno.
Yeah.
Did Bruno ever have any clue about this?
Yeah, he was working. He worked the shows.
No, he was on board and he did like commentary.
Wow. Oh,
this dude had Herb had a lot of money from whatever he did. I think Tony, what did they say? He ran like a big woman's dress store or something in New York.
Like you know those
plus size.
What's that called? Yeah, but there's like a name for. I don't know what it was called.
Destination XL. Destination XL or something, XXL or something. It's like that's one.
Yeah,
of the
they called it something weird back, but it was like basically like plus size fashion.
Yeah, it's crazy
fashion dresses for plus size people.
Okay.
So Marty Berg is just this dude's
bitch.
He's a big boy, man, and so he gets invited to a 2-bedroom suite in California, and Herb Abrams brings in coke and hookers. And Marty has never seen pussy in his life, so this was just like straight blew his mind. He's like, I ain't get no snaggletooth, bitch. I get California pussy. I'm like, oh, okay, this man Marty's feeling crazy. I'm like, all right. So we get to run in the UWF, which they run a bunch of shows in California, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to. They're not trying to run against Vince McMahon and the WWF until they do. Because for some reason, everyone tries to. They get the UWF belt made. It's the, what do they call it? The Sports Channel Television Championship was their big main belt.
So like Sports Channel, I guess back then might have been equivalent to ESPN or something.
Okay.
Kind of like that. It's not, I don't know what it is anymore, but it says, the side plates say UWF. Like it's not like a thing, but it's like actual letters on it.
Pretty interesting side plates. So the side plates are just letters, right? Tony, what do those letters do when you hold the belt a certain way?
So when you fold the championship,
I saw this.
It says FU. And that is an FU to the WWF.
Oh, hell yeah.
He said, Vince McMahon, this is an FU to you. I'm like, okay.
So basically why they were FUing the WWE, I'm trying to put the story together, but basically he pitched to Vince McMahon that they would run the West Coast, the UWF, and then Vince could have the rest of the U.S. Vince said, that ain't happening, pal.
I want it all.
He said, it was essentially what it was. He said, we can partner up and I'll work the West Coast for you and you can work the East Coast and then we'll be a power team. And Vince said, get the hell out of here. Yeah. So that didn't work. So Herb's like, all right, Vince, fuck you. So immediately goes and signs. He instantly goes and signs Andre the Giant.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he signs Andre the Giant.
Motherfucking the Giant.
And they go, Andre the Giant signed a long-term contract with UWF. Yeah. So what does Vince do? He says, Andre, why don't you come on back here? And Andre immediately goes back to the WWF. Immediately.
So Andre had like Captain Lou Albano had a show or whatever.
Okay.
And Andre was on that show and he had like one in-ring appearance. I think he did like 2.
Did he wrestle or he just
No. At this point, Andre could barely walk down to the ring. He was in bad shape. So like basically for Andre, this was great. He probably just got he got the UWF money
Big
and then he got like
helped them out.
Yeah. He got the big time contract with Vince probably.
Sick.
Hell yeah. So Andre comes down and the first thing you hear him say on the mic is, what does UWF even stand for? So as you can see, Herb Abrams got his money's worth from my man Big Andre here, who they immediately show going back to the WWF. So they run their very first pay-per-view, right? They've done weeks and weeks of this stuff. They've been building up. They got a crazy roster. They got they got Dr. Death. They got Dr. Death, Steve Williams. And they got, they got Big Dr. Death. And they got Bam Bam Bigelow. And they got Paul Orndorff and fucking Cactus Jack. And they got Jimmy Snuka. And they got this crazy roster, right? Like, shit. So they'd run their first pay-per-view, the UWF Beach Brawl, and it did a 0.01 buy rate.
What?
And almost, was this did they have people in the audience on this one, Tony?
They barely had like 100 people in the arena, and there was a 4,000 seat arena.
How did it do so bad?
You know, They just didn't. I think they just didn't advertise it well. Yeah.
And it was like hour drive away from any major city, the arena apparently as well.
But even a pay-per-view, like that sounds. Did he charge 100 bones for this fucking?
No, it was $14.95.
Yeah, $14.95.
$14.95. But in 1990, that was $600. So you gotta think about that.
Is this pay-per-view like is that available to watch? Like, can I
watch?
You can watch Beach Brawl. I'm pretty sure.
Wow,
I think there's tape of it.
I'm gonna see if I can find the results for this real quick.
I'm fascinated by this.
This was the show, I think, where Dr. Death beat Bam Bam in the main event.
Oh, yes, shit. Dr. Death beat Bam Bam for the FU title in 7 minutes.
But fuck Dr. Death. What the fuck?
Fuck Dr. Death.
So according to all of this, like Herb would just like randomly change the matches because he thought they were like
that's sweet.
He just didn't even care. He was like, yeah, this is the finish. He just called on the fly. Yeah. Terry Gordy fought Johnny Ace to a double countout.
You knew if Dr. Death was there.
It was a street fight that ended in a double countout.
Street fight. I think that happened with one of Katniss's and Jimmy Snuka's matches where they had like they just had a double countout and Katniss said, I don't know, man, we just wrestled.
And they wrestled so they wrestle in the crowd and this is where there's like no fans, so it just totally exposes the show to have no fans.
Hell yeah.
Because they would like darken the lights and stuff to kind of hide it, and be like, oh yeah, there it is. Then they just brawl in the crowd and ruined it all for them.
This is one of my favorite quotes, and this is why I say you see a little bit of you can see the difference between how he was when he was Katniss and, Mick Foley now as he's out of the business. But he's like, Katniss saw those empty seats and said, "Wah, someone's going to bleed." And I'm like, yeah, this is the dude that I love right here. He said, I saw those empty seats. And I'm like, we're going to do something fun tonight. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
He's like, at least I can do some cool shit.
Yeah, that ruled. Yeah, Katniss is the man forever. So the Beach Brawl went over terribly, of course. This dude has like millions of dollars, so it doesn't really matter. But I think that I think they said that the Beach Brawl really like took a hit on his mental state, like with everything. But it didn't matter because he went and fucked hookers and did blow and hung out with the boys, And then this led to him doing another pay-per-view.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Of course, after you do a 0.01 buy rate with no one in the audience, you go, let's do it again.
That's like me booking EWR, bro.
So the venue he ran for Beach Brawl, Tony said, was 4,000 people. So he said, let's up the ante a little bit. Right. So he booked MGM Grand, which holds, 20,000 people or something? It was just a dumb number.
Double down, baby. Fuck
hell yeah.
I think they said 16,500 seats were left empty.
Go,
that was the empty seats. So, so he books his MGM Grand show, and he just wants to be in Vegas. He wants the hookers in the blow, you know what I mean? So, but he hooks this show called the Blackjack Brawl for the UWF.
Dude, I love the theme he's got. They're brawling.
Yeah. So Cage Match says that this is around 600 people probably come to this. That's about the estimate for this show.
That's more than the first one.
Yeah, and guess what, man? There was about 40 different championships on this show.
Let me can I list all these?
Let me really quick because I have this
these
one.
These are titles that they made?
Yes, they're all UWF championships, and they all died on this show. But let me say really quick, because this is the one that I wanted to say. UWF Johnny had a championship called the UWF Midget World Title. And my man Little Tokyo beat the Karate Kid.
Let's go.
That is they should have kept this going, I think.
Please, when we finally start DPW and we run a show at the BootyCon.
Yeah.
We have to bring back some of these UWF championships.
Get this, Johnny.
Tell me these.
We had the American Championship, which is fine. The Junior
USA.
Heavyweight, which is good. The Junior Heavyweight. The TV title, which the FU title.
Did they have TV?
Yes,
they were on the sports channel thing.
Okay. Oh right, yes.
Southern States Championship.
Okay, could have been
the midget world
championship. Is there a midget lightweight championship?
No,
not. We had the women's world championship, of course.
Okay.
The tag team championships.
Sure.
The heavyweight championship, which
how many fucking matches are on the show?
Dr. Death beat Steve Williams.
Fuck Dr. Death.
Dr. Death beat
Dr. Death beats
Sid Vicious. Excuse me.
He beat the hell out of him.
He beat him up. And then we have the UWF, which I think might be the greatest style they had, the MGM Grand Championship.
Oh, hell yeah, it's like the TNT title, bro.
Woo!
Except
Who won
they
that
only ran
one?
the MGM Grand once.
How many is this like 20 matches?
11
on the show?
matches. 11 matches.
And they were all title matches?
And they all went like
Except
7 minutes.
Except for Cactus Jack and Snuka in a lumberjack match that ended in a double count out.
Yes, this is the match.
Wait!
Dude, this is the match
How
where
is that even
Cactus.
possible?
Yes, this is the match where Cactus and he said one of my dream matches was to face Jimmy Snuka, so I got to face him on this show, and we just said let's just go do something. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They just
whole
fought.
point.
They just fought until they got counted out. Yeah, that's it. That's
The
it.
whole point of a lumberjack match is to throw them back into
I don't
the
even
ring.
know if there was anyone to throw him back in the ring. I think they just had a
There
match.
was no lumberjack.
I don't even know if
I
there
don't think
was.
there was.
I didn't see
don't
any.
think there was, to
I
be
didn't
honest.
see any.
That's
The audience
so
was a
sick.
lumberjack. They just didn't tell him.
Oh fuck! I love that, dude.
So-
oh my god! I need to just unlock something in my memory that I need to mention. PWU was an indie fed, and they did a match one time where it was fans are the referees. So the
Oh,
fans
that's hot.
had to count the fucking falls. I need
That-
to find it.
That is the first ever Deadlock main event.
Yeah, I feel like
yes. Oh my god, that'd be perfect.
we gotta bring back in Lil Tokyo and the Karate Kid, and then
Yeah.
have them fight. I'm sure somebody still has these titles. Have to be somewhere. Somebody owns these titles.
Oh wait. So they made physical titles too.
Yes, they all were physical titles. Someone has to own
The
these
only
titles.
one,
Oh my
the
god.
only one that they really had
I'm gonna
was
look on
the
eBay.
they showed was the Sports Channel Television Championship. That's the only one they really.
Yeah, Lenny
showed.
still
But
had
they-
that one.
They did, but so the big thing about this whole thing was that Herb Abrams had like 2 bank accounts here. So he had one bank account that had like millions and millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And then he had one bank account that had nothing in it. I think it was actually a closed bank account, but he
Oh.
still had checks from that. So he would write the checks to the boys and the camera crew on that shitty bank account. And then those checks would bounce.
Oh. Wow.
And then he
Yeah,
spend
it
the
was
other money. He spend the other
Yeah,
money on
fuck.
cocaine and hookers.
And so one time the camera crew went on strike, and I believe Cactus Jack came in. Wasn't Cactus step in at this time and was telling the camera crew, do not accept a check from this
Yeah,
guy. I
yeah.
wouldn't accept anything but cash from him.
Damn.
And he said, I'm good for the money. And they're like, all right, we trust you. And they took it. Apparently, nobody has a bad thing to say about Herb Abrams.
Well, the camera crew also threatened to throw him off the 5th story of a building.
That-
I just
forgot about
remembered that. I
'Cause they didn't
just
get
remembered
paid.
that. Yeah, they didn't get paid.
Damn.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool story.
Well, I mean, it kind of happens. He gets chased by the police come in, or no, the pimps come into the room when he's fucking these hookers, and he just jumps out the window. So that
Wrestling
happened.
Used to be awesome.
I know, man. That's why we got to bring back some of these titles
I think we should get the hookers too.
and the blow. I'm all in.
Yeah. Tony
So-
in?
Tony,
Sure,
what
let's do
happened
Let's
to Herb Abrams?
Which story?
With
no.
the final story
There-
of his life.
There's a story that he's still alive, Tupac style, and hanging out somewhere.
There's people that
um,
actually believe that, by the way.
Do you believe it?
When somebody
They have his
who was
body. No.
it? Someone started a
Fuck.
UWF. There was another UWF, and apparently a guy in cowboy boots showed up and said, "You can't use the UWF name. I own that name." And they thought it was Herb Abrams long
Wait,
after he died.
Sorry, I'm looking on eBay for UWF titles. Is the UWF title just what ROH got their idea from, or is this a different UWF?
Huh?
The UWF title looks exactly like the original ROH title.
No,
this is a
that's
different
not.
UWF.
This is the heavyweight joint. Yeah, this is
This
the
thing?
This is a different UWF.
Okay.
No, I see the belt you're looking at, and it could be. I don't know what the heavyweight title looked like. This isn't the one they showed on the thing. They
It's
showed
not the FU title. Yeah, no.
Dude, this
But like
what
this
the
title,
fuck?
is it like this
'Cause
looks exactly like the ROH.
This looks
title, like,
exactly.
There's a couple
like it.
even the
UWF.
logo. Yeah.
No, this
Okay.
says Universal Wrestling Federation, dude.
I know, but there was another Universal Wrestling Federation that wasn't Herb Abrams. It was owned by Bill Watts back in the day.
Well, this does say Dr. Death held this belt.
Yeah, that's such.
I'm
wonder-
not sure.
I'm gonna have
Hold
to
on.
look up. Continue. I want to find out. I'll look this up. Continue. Tell me
Okay,
about him dying.
So one story that I had was that he's still alive, Tupac style, hanging out somewhere, and
Fuck
then
yeah.
he came and tried to sue another UWF, and That's a story. What was the final one that everyone says happened? He was doing cocaine and the cops came in and
he was doing coke with the hookers, and then the neighbors called the police on him. And he's in the room chasing hookers with a baseball bat, naked, covered in Vaseline, doing coke. Yeah, he's covered in coke and Vaseline, chasing hookers, and then the police detained him, and then he died. And I can't. The quote was from somebody. I don't remember who it was from, but he said, "Herb Abrams died exactly how he wanted to, with hookers and coke."
Dude, that's really what happened.
Yes, that is the shoot death.
There are stories that he died in
insane.
the hotel room, or he died in the cop car, or he went to prison and died in jail. But nobody really
butt-ass naked, bro.
Yes,
naked, butt ass whipping, like chasing him around with baseball bats, cowboy boots on though. Cowboy boots on, of course.
Vadered?
He did.
Not with the boots.
Not with the boots, bro.
All right, dude. Okay, so let me just say this. I don't know if this is, but this blade is this UWF heavyweight joint. It was made by Dave Milliken, and it is way nicer than the ROH version if they took it from this. Because, dude, this bitch was dual plated. Look at this.
Yeah, this shit's nasty, bro.
The replica on eBay doesn't even really give you the.
This might be the same. I honestly unless.
No, this is the Bill Watts one. This is the Bill Watts one because I'm looking
Bill
up.
Watts at Universal as well.
Yes,
Okay.
It was Mid-South North American Heavyweight Championship, and then the promotion changed its name to Universal Wrestling Federation, and then it became that.
I was gonna say it would be real weird for ROH to get their title inspiration from that fed, but I would love for that to be the case.
Yeah, this was that one was active from 86 to 87,
Okay.
and then
that's such a clean I
Dude,
I really
do you see
miss
the dual plated
title.
version, the one that I linked?
Let me see.
Look at the dual plated version, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
That is so sexy. It's got the nickel background with the
that's
gold
sick
pop.
as hell.
Dude,
That
I love.
definitely is where they got the idea from. I didn't.
Dude,
okay,
they
that's
definitely
cool.
did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's
this
a
is
fucking great
sexy.
design, though.
Yeah, hell yeah. This is where we're getting ours
Yeah.
too.
yeah, that's the Bill Watts. That's the Bill Watts version, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the blue. We got to put the blue globe behind it, and it's perfect.
There it is.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. The blue globe
Make
with the
letters
red text.
orange. Yeah.
Yeah, or orange. Yeah, that'd be hot too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's up,
All right.
man.
Thanks,
We figured it out.
Thanks, Herb Abrams.
Yeah, we can actually get Dave Milliken to just make it for us. Just make this for us, Dave. He only has Dave only has like a 6-year waiting period, so like we get it in now.
By the time we run the BootyCon, yeah, you're right.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll be right there. We'll debut it at the BootyCon.
Damn, bro. I mean, I know you guys were saying this was kind of like a lesser episode, but this sounds kind of sick.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely like there was a lot of filler in there about Herb, but like
okay. Well, I'm glad I got the
stuff.
I don't think
stuff that
I
hit.
think what James wanted was more on like the promotion itself. This was more about like Herb Abrams and his backstory. James
I wanna
wanted
hear
more about
the hookers.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I
you
want to
do.
hear more about the UWF. That thing was a shit show. Like that was
Yeah.
crazy. How you book Jimmy Snuka to 600 people and then have a double count out in a lumberjack match? Like this is crazy. I want to hear more about that.
I kind of want to see these shows.
Yeah, at one point, like they said, Herb Abrams was coked out of his head and would like get in the ring and start yelling stuff, and he didn't even know what he was saying. And
He
then
was
he
changing
got
matches
busted open at one
mid-show.
point, and he's like cutting this ridiculous, crazy promo, just blood's going everywhere. His shirt's ripped. He's just yelling, coked
Hell
out.
yeah, dude.
Herb Abrams is the last bastion of professional wrestling. Pro wrestling died with Herb Abrams, dude.
And his-
I mean, his legacy could be that he signed Andre the Giant at the
I
time
think
when
he's still
you know
alive.
that's
I'm
crazy.
with everybody else. He's alive still.
Him and
Tupac,
Tupac, yeah, actually in the same island.
I think
That's
so.
crazy how that
Area
works.
51, dude, they're hanging out there.
Booking promotions, probably.
Alien Pro.
Yeah, what the hell?